I could do a game show entry.
We're uniquely queued up for game show right now. We have the 3 sound bites that we need to accomplish that.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the MoxStars podcast. I'm here with today's contestants, Jordan Garcia.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Frank. It's an honor. Shout out to the folks at home back in Wyoming. Everybody's from Wyoming on these shows.
And come on down, Christopher Ritter.
Howdy. Wow.
Whoa.
Fuck y'all.
Stuffed. Absolutely stuffed.
Wow.
Let's have it one more time for me. Oh, thank you. And Chris?
Hey, guys.
Oh.
The crowd loves it.
Ouch.
Wow.
All right.
And on today's episode, we're talking about a couple things. But before we talk about those things, you can find all of our social media links and stuff below in the description. And be sure to follow, subscribe, like, thumbs up, comment, help us out with that algorithm. We love to interact.
I'm hustling on that Instagram, y'all. Evan's hustling on that YouTube channel. Hit that follow.
And you guys can look forward to more content from the MoxStars as we start to set forth a content calendar. And you can look forward to live streaming of deck techs and profiles. And just overall, in general, we're working on getting a lot like live camera feed for the podcast itself.
Leveling up that content, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Any pregame actions for you boys?
Yeah. So today we are talking about main topic is going to be all the releases coming up in 2023. There's some hot freaking drops, but first I got to talk about a pregame action that I have, and that is some juicy and hello updates. We did some deck techs that we're working on last week. We played a bunch of games. They went okay.
You got stuff.
I got freaking stuff, man. And we're here next week. This is how magic works, y'all. So a few things I found out. You don't need nearly as many creatures as I thought in this deck. I have so many creatures in a spell slinger deck. And then, all of a sudden you're drawing a lot of fucking creatures that do nothing.
Hey, you always hit that casualty, though.
You always have the casualty ready. What I found is I do really like this deck, and that's why I'm putting a little more time into it. I think I've got about 15 slots in and out today, so I'm excited to do some more testing. But yeah, so cutting creatures for more instant sorceries, obviously, but more focusing on specifically card draw, just kind of keeping that velocity going. Anytime you can twin a card draw spell, it just gets kind of nutty.
Did you like that ghoulish procession card like that you played out was actually sick?
Yeah.
It netted you a lot.
Ridiculous.
A lot of zombies.
Yeah.
But you had no spells to cast and to take advantage of.
Well, that's the thing I'm finding out is like those type of effects are just actually so cracked that you don't need a lot of them or a ton of creatures to support it.
Yeah, you were saying they're like, well, I could start pressuring life totals with them, but then they kill themselves.
Yeah, like literally,
I sacrifice themselves.
They can't block. So unless I'm actually sacking them to a casualty, they're fucking useless.
Yeah, it just looked like you had a board.
It looked very intimidating, but I had nothing going on the majority of the game, actually.
Yeah, I mean, with a deck, you can do a lot of things. But there should be a point to doing those things.
Yes.
Ultimately.
And a lot of my decks are working to getting to having a point to doing the things that I do. So I am trying out just a little more card draw, a little more velocity, if you will. And the other thing Ev and I were laughing about that I'm trying now is the value breach. I love Grixis and CEDH and stuff, so I play Underworld Breach all the time. But, I'm trying to step back a little bit, a little less crazy. For a more casual table. And so, it's like Breach is one card. I admit it. I think it is honestly the most busted card in the.
It's such a great value card.
It's
I made some value plays with it.
You did. I mean, that's what the joke he leaned over after we had the conversation as you did, and it was like value breach works great. And I was like, yeah, it's actually really good because I just found there were some times all the shit I needed was in the graveyard, and it's just like I'm not winning the game off of it. I just need to exile 3 cards and pay 2 additional mana to cast this one more time, so I can draw some cards or something like an honest to goodness draw 2.
Yep. Yeah. I actually even though this is your spotlight,
hit me.
I do have a card that I think is perspective, and I think people could actually buy into it because I think it's about to see a spike.
Not financial advice. What you got?
It is a 1 in a red enchantment called Share the Spoils. It's from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. It says, when Share the Spoils enters the battlefield or an opponent loses the game, exile the top card of each player's library. During each player's turn, that player may play a land or cast a spell from among cards exiled with Share the Spoils, and they may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast that spell. When they do, exile the top card of their library.
Whoa.
So
everybody gets one pot, though.
It's one pot where all the cards go in, and I'm actually thinking this has place in high power. It gives everyone access to all these cards.
Says when somebody loses the game?
Yeah, or it's when it enters the battlefield, you exile the top card, right, of everyone, or everyone's library, or when a player loses the game, that happens again, right?
Oh, okay.
And it also happens when one spell is played from the pot.
But only the person that takes from the pot fills the pot back.
Exactly.
Actually, I think it's kind of a fun card, honestly.
So I think that, if you play that in your Halo deck, it's just like you flip everyone's top card, and then all of a sudden you're looking at a lot of sorceries, a lot of instants that you could potentially copy.
For sure.
That is a sick find.
Yeah, 1 in a red, too. Pretty low costed.
Yeah, I was thinking about playing it in Zakama because I think that getting access to a CDH, no one wants the cards I'm playing. Right. Because my deck is so
pretty funny.
Refined.
Yeah.
So if I can play everyone else's cards, that's actually pretty fucking solid for me.
That's pretty funny. I like that. Yeah, no, for sure. I'll look at it. Share the Spoils. Check that card out. So adding more recursion, I added that, and there is I've taken out some of the spell slingery, or I guess the spell twinny stuff that isn't in hella focused. It just feels like it's not necessary, especially when you have like the reverberate type of effects where you have to cast that to twin the next spell, but then Hello only sees the first spell you cast each turn. So now you're stuck in this weird thing of, do I twin my twinning spell to only get 3 copies? And it just seems kind of unnecessary, and like, what are we doing here? So I'm taking a lot of that out, but there is one new twinning spell I'm very excited to add to this, and it is from All Will Be One. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
There was a twinning spell and all?
It is Mercurial Spell Dance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am very excited to add this card to the mix.
It has 2 power.
It has 2 power, and it says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets an oil counter. Then, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you can remove 2 oil counters from it and copy the next instant or sorcery you cast this turn. So, there's totally a world in which I just sack it the first time I get that trigger off, giving me 2 twins, because I'll be able to cast or sack it to my Hello trigger. So I'm pretty excited about that. But as a whole, like, just kind of any of those like instant sorceries that just say copy a spell, and I took Ral out as well. It's just like, it just doesn't feel good enough when Hello just does that instinctually out of the command zone.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make the deck actually a little better.
In terms of like refining decks in general, the first thing you can do is get rid of a lot of win more stuff.
Yes, exactly.
You don't need to reinforce the thing that you already have access to in the command zone.
Yeah.
Like your whole deck is built around having access to
Right. Redundancy is nice, but there is a certain point where it's just slowing you down, and like you're taking up spots for better cards.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I was at. So I'm excited to try it out tonight. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get my ass kicked once again. But speaking of AFR and D&D, did you guys see that there is a new mechanically unique secret layer coming out?
Yes, I did.
We got to talk about it because these are commanders that we're going to be seeing maybe in high-powered competitive CDH? Question mark?
I don't know if you'll see it.
Probably not, but that's going to be the headline on our YouTube title.
There's plenty of like room for this to be played, these cards to be played in a mid tier. Like if you're playing like 5s and 6s, these are perfect. These are like really fun, flavorful commanders. So let's just kind of get into it and like talk about what these cards are.
Yeah, which ones are you into?
I'm really into Edgin and Forge. So I'll read those 2. Edgin, Larcenous Lutenist.
Wow, you said it right the first time. It literally took me like 5 times to say that.
All right, so it is. He's a bard. He says each non-land card in your hand without foretell has foretell. Its foretell cost is equal to its mana cost reduced by 2. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, goad target creature an opponent controls. Love it. Love the goad mechanic here. And I've always wanted Dream Devourer, or is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, to be like a commander, and here it is. It's just not in the right colors. Also,
I mean, I think it is in the right colors. It's exactly the right colors. Spellslinger.
yeah, I just wanted it to like have black in some shape or form. Also, notably, it is Chris Pine, the commander.
Yeah.
Is Chris Pine's face.
If you want Chris Pine in the command zone, you can do that now.
You can have Chris Pine in the command zone and Chris Pratt in your deck. Do things right.
Whoa.
You got to build it the right way.
Yeah.
Just enough years of secret layers being out, and you just have a fully Chris deck.
Jeez.
One day.
That is your deck. And then the next one is Forge Neverwinter Charlatan. He's just human something. I can't remember exactly what it is. But he has Menace and Ward of Sacrifice a Creature. Forge gets +2/+0 for each treasure you control. Whenever one or more players sacrifice one or more creatures, you create a tapped treasure token. This ability only triggers once per turn.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool mono black commander here.
I think it's almost like drawn up for you. There's a certain point where they start creating a design where you put enough words in a particular sequence where it says, "This is Flesh Brag Marauder .deck." Like all of those effects now go into this because it makes it so that you're creating treasures like crazy and sort of like creating this weird Voltron strategy. Put them out there, get a bunch of treasures.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of support for weird support for treasures in black, like between Ruthless Necromancer, Revel in Riches. There's got to be a handful of things like that where there's not really enough to build around it, I think. But if you were going to, you now have a commander for it.
I mean, there is actually a mono black win con that exclusively cares about treasures.
Yeah, Revel in Riches.
Revel in Riches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Soul Shatter would be good here too because it's like
Totally great.
Each opponent sacrifices what, greatest power, or is it greatest command or mana
CMC.
cost? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Mana
for this
value.
commander to really be worthwhile and be pushed, you got to get rid of that once per turn thing.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I could see this being in like pretty much most Turgid decks, that kind of vibe. Tiny Bones, maybe. If you're doing that kind of thing. Nath.
I feel like this would be off the fucking chain if they said if it was more than once per turn. Whenever one or more players sacrifices a creature, create a tapped treasure.
Yeah, I mean, you throw
Holy shit.
it in Braids or throw Braids in the 99 and
But
yeah.
it's a tapped treasure. So why does it have to be once per turn?
Yeah, exactly. At worst, you'll go off next turn.
Right.
You have a full turn cycle to be stopped.
I make you all sacrifice 3 creatures. I make, 9 treasures, all tapped, past the turn. That's not even that bad. If I can...
And it's only each trigger. You don't actually only create. If you're like, you each sacrifice a creature, you each sacrifice
one or more players sacrifices one or more creatures.
Yeah, so you get
create
3
a
treasures in total. So, but it's one
God.
or more players, so you can do it to yourself. So you can create loops where you're, I'm going to create an infinite number of tapped treasure tokens, and then...
It's for each instance of sacking.
Yeah, it's the instance.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there was a different way to make this a little more interesting mechanically while still balancing it.
Well, it'd be like you could loop the Gravecrawler, like Gravecrawler Phyrexian Altar loop or whatever, and then just like if Morbid Opportunist didn't say once per turn, it's like then you create a loop where it's like, I just draw my whole library.
Yeah.
So,
also, just the last thing I want to say about Forge, it's freaking Hugh Grant.
yeah, it's Hugh Grant on a Magic card. How far we've come.
I would much rather have Hugh Grant in foil than Chris Pine in foil.
Yeah, there's how many cards in total from this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. 7 new mechanically unique legendary creatures coming out for this set, all resembling characters from the new upcoming movie Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. And I guess there'll be more information on this. There've only been a few leaks. We have all the text here on the cards. There is Zank, Paladin Unbroken.
This guy I like.
A mono white double strike, auras you control have have exalted.
I think that's going to be so good.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. Simon, wild magic sorcerer. The actor who plays Simon, I feel like his name is Simon in all movies. He just looks like a Simon. I can't.
Who plays him?
Let me just show you a picture of him because He was the main.
Definitely looks like a Simon.
Yeah, he was the main actor in Detective Pikachu. He was like the kid that was in Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah. That guy has Simon vibes.
Big Simon energy.
Yeah. Big Simon energy is right. And that's whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 3 or greater, roll a d20. 1 through 9, each player draws a card. 10 through 19, you draw a card. And if you roll a nat 20, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Okay, this just seems fun as like a mono blue mage deck. Like it's not going to be a good deck, and you're going to probably annoy a lot of people. But it's just like it offers you the well, maybe you won't because it has this political aspect, right, where everybody gets to draw a card.
I mean, if you're playing mono blue, you're there to annoy people.
Yeah,
So-
but I don't know. I'm just picturing some wholesome like Timmy Magic player just like being a wizard, rolling a d20 every single time you cast a spell.
Yeah, why
It
not?
sounds hella annoying.
Yeah, and
does.
you're like, you're rolling the d20, you're getting card draws, but I think there's like also it's a commander that lets you cantrip on like almost every spell you cast. Which
I mean,
is
it's 3 CMC minimum, right? To act.
3 or
3 or greater. I thought it was 3 or
Yeah.
less, so it's not like you can just be
Yeah.
firing off
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cantrips. I see.
I mean,
So you
there's,
get all the
there's decent cards that you can play in that range.
yeah,
like,
it encourages you to play a little spicier build. Honestly,
Yeah,
Fierce Guardianship, Force of Will, Force of Negation.
you guys are going so hard. I'm talking casual Magic,
or
here.
even like Thirst for Knowledge, things
Thank
like that.
you.
Intuition. Hey, there you go.
Intuition, extremely casual card.
Yeah.
Very, very good. I would love to cantrip off that. If you can copy it, got that nat 20.
All right, I have to retract what I said. There's not 7 cards, there's 6. There's 1 that transforms.
Yes.
Ooh.
There's Dorich, Nature's Warden. On the front side, a human druid. Vigilance, when Dorich enters the battlefield, search your library for a forest card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Whenever Dorich attacks, you may pay 1 and a green. If you do, transform her into Dorich, Owlbear Avenger. With Vigilance and Trample, when this creature transforms into Owlbear Avenger, other legendary creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Trample until the end of the turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, transform Dorich. And
Wow.
most notably, the Owlbear Avenger is a 6/6 Vigilance Trample. On the other side, it's like a
3/3 vigilance.
3.
That's nice. Ramp plus a repeatable overrun effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, we have Michelle Rodriguez, Relentless
actually pretty
Rager. It's Olga, Relentless Rager. It is Michelle Rodriguez on a magic card. With haste, Olga must be blocked if able whenever Olga, I'm just going to say Olga, attacks each creature you control. The H is silent. Each creature you control attacking a player gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each creature that player controls.
Whoa. Really
Rager.
punishing creature decks.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Rage so hard. All right.
All right.
That's it for our pregame actions. That's a secret
pretty
lair.
chill.
We went through all those cards. That's enough.
Pretty chill. Super chill. We have actually one last pregame action. Chris, you bought something spicy. I want to hear about it. What'd you get?
Oh, I bought some just light spin down counters. Not spin downs.
Just classic D20.
Yeah, I bought some D20s. Big news.
Spice of life.
No, if it's I bought some life counters so we can save some phone batteries. Yeah.
It is always,
Yeah.
it always is always the person, like when you get together with your buds, it is always the one person who is making that sacrifice to throw their phone out in the middle and just say, I'm not texting anyone. I'm not looking at my phone this whole time.
Yep.
Just, I'm contributing to this experience.
Probably will be dead on my way home.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
So you're welcome, guys.
Mucho preach. Yeah, I still think there's a world to grow within the products offered to Magic players, as far as just like a little apparatus or unit that sits in the middle and keeps track of the commanders and the life and the counting. Everything I've seen so far is either it's free for all, everybody brings their own kit and whatever they want to deal with, or it's like just nothing that's good enough to entice people to have all 4 people use the same product.
You know what? I look all the time, and I have yet to find a command zone or 4-person commander life counter command zone situation, which you think should exist. Doesn't exist at all, pretty much. And there should be a decent one, right?
There should be like a spot for like everybody to have their commander
Everyone-
nicely
yep.
placed and framed.
It tracks number of casts. It tracks,
you get
everything.
3
Command
D20s on
damage.
each side,
Yep.
so you can just track all the commander damage.
Yeah.
I hate to burst your bubbles here, but like they have made products like that in the past, even at Card Kingdom. Like at Mox, they have these little playmats. I used to have one.
But they're trash. We're talking
Yeah.
about good ones.
Oh, yeah. So the concept has existed.
Concept totally exists.
Okay, so we're looking at something that can be uniformly used amongst all
that
players.
you would enthusiastically buy
Yes.
instead of reluctantly.
Yeah, I'm
because
picturing
it's
like
the
something that's
option.
maybe like 3D printed, so there's
Yeah.
like
I see.
textural components to it,
Yep.
not just like a mat on top of all of our mats.
Because definitely there are some like personal commander command zone life counter situations. But then again, we're back on, getting everyone on the same page,
Right.
and having something that, is designed optimally to be placed at the center of 4 play mats.
That's what I
without
want.
Placing everyone too far away.
Right.
from
And I don't want it to
you
be
know
like
what I mean?
huge or like taking over mats. Now we have less mat space
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. I want it to be like pretty small and compact. Like that mat that you're talking about was too big.
It was too big, and you don't want anything that's going to overlap your mat.
No, but if you
Yeah.
had something that just like if everybody's like, all right, put a 3-inch space between everybody's mats and it perfectly fits, whether it runs down the line, just dead center, what the fuck ever, and it just like I don't know, we can maybe product design this to put it up on our Patreon or Kickstarter it, whatever. But I just think in general, like there's just a world that we can expand on in like products for Magic players that just doesn't like. It's like 2 people. It's like 2 companies making stuff for us right now.
Yeah, it really is. It's Ultra Pro and it's Dragon Shield, pretty much. That like,
And they're still small and like just kind of right now clawing their way up.
yeah. And then there's Deck Builder. Like I guess Ultra Pro is probably the biggest one.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see more makers and stuff, kind of putting more minds on it.
Yeah, I'll pick your brain about it later.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get into our main phase. We are talking about the sick ass drops that are coming out in 2023. We have already had All Will Be One. We are staring down like a very aggressive pipeline of March of the Machines. I think that's coming out in 2 weeks after this drops, maybe 3.
It comes out April
21st.
21st.
Okay, so like about 4 weeks from right now.
Yeah.
We're about a month out.
Yep.
Great, because we're going to start spoilers next week, yeah?
And then a couple weeks after that, March of the Machines Aftermath, which is an even smaller limited set, which it has is
I see.
packaged
3
weird.
weeks. 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not like a full secondary set.
No, it's a smaller set, and then also kind of harkening back to like before they made the changes with Ravnica block. Of
They did like a block
the
set.
site, where they would have like 1 big and then 2 small, or 2 big and then 1 small. So, and also they're packaging the packs of this differently, where it's like 5-card packs or something, and the battles are going to be in there and stuff. I don't know. There's weird stuff happening. And is it March of the Machines or with Aftermath where the commander decks have plane chase cards? And
Oh,
I saw the spoilers for like the plane chase stuff. It must be Aftermath. I can't imagine
I figured
they would put it into like a standard set, or at least a.
I think they're packaged with the commander decks.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I think you're right, yeah.
So are they? I guess ultimately, this is perspective. We're just sort of like during this episode, we're going to be sort of speculating on what these sets could contain based on what we know at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen 2 sets this year. We kind of see what they're thinking for this next set coming up here. And, we're having some great revisiting of other sets that we really love, too, coming down the pipeline. So there's a lot to speculate on.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do commander decks for the... Are you talking like the plane chase being with the commander decks for Aftermath?
Yeah, because I know they're definitely being packaged with the commander decks, and I just didn't know for which set.
Okay,
Right,
so
right.
some commander decks are coming with plane chase cards at some point this year.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. I've actually never played plane chase before.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. I'm down to try it out. I do have a question about this. The Aftermath, is this going to be a standard legal set in addition to Mom Straight Up?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I am pretty sure.
I believe it is, and I think the reason for it being a smaller set is not just fitting in the release schedule, but because it is more mechanically complex.
Okay, I see. With the whole battle introduction.
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
I wonder, is there going to be like a whole new like draft gameplay style? As you said, it's like a 5-card pack. Is it so much more focused around battling? Now, like the draft itself is like setting up battles. You don't need that many cards to make it happen.
Yeah, I have to imagine it's going to be a super interesting draft format.
Yeah, definitely interested to try this out.
Yeah, so it turns out that Aftermath is going to, like you said, 5 cards per pack, and they're called epilogue boosters. And then they're also going to be having collector's boosters. And the big note on this that no one really knows what is going on is that this is where Magic, or at least Wizards of the Coast, is going to show the player base how the multiverse of Magic has fundamentally changed forever. That is the tagline with the set.
Okay.
Just based off of like the storyline of how Magic has changed.
And mechanically.
What does that mean?
Yeah. So like battles being a thing is, I don't know. That's why it's mysterious. You're like, whoa, how could this game that I've known for so long change?
Guys,
well, they're probably hyping it up the exact correct amount and not,
Yeah. Like plane chase is now part of standard.
oh man. Yeah, that's my thing is just like I get that the battle thing is going to be completely different like play style, but just every set have to have every different skew of products that are all completely different than the set before it. It is actually exhausting. It must be exhausting for the people coming up with this.
Just come up with 4 different types of products that you can sell us every time.
I just don't see
good.
why it has to be different. I get the whole Malcolm Gladwell thing, offer them more options and you'll inevitably be making more money. But I just I just don't understand where this is. It just comes to like product fatigue and like honestly customer confusion. Like people just buy the wrong shit not knowing what packs have what. If you're just going to a shop and you haven't done all of this research on the most recent set and you're like, I'm trying to get this, and you just you buy 5 of these packs of whatever and just, oh, I'm sorry, that's only in the other premium pack or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, opening packs themselves is a gamble. You shouldn't have to gamble on your gambling.
Yeah.
It's a lot of going through. If you're ripping packs or whatever, let's say of All Will Be One, and you're going through and then you play against somebody who has the oil slick Elish Norn, and you're like, oh my god, I have an Elish Norn, where did you get that one? And they're like, well, you have to get it by going to your local LGS and pre-ordering a complete edition bundle, and then there's one pack, and in that one pack there's only how many oil slick cards were in there?
2 per pack.
2 oil slick cards, and then there's a chance you get the Elish Norn there. If you don't get it, it's $140.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
There's almost an achievement sense to it where you're playing a video game and you see a guy with a skin that you've never seen before.
Right. It's exactly that. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And you're like, oh my god, where did he get that skin? I was like, oh, he was part of that event in 2018. It was a very exclusive.
Or it's a free to play game, but he spent $300 on it.
Yeah, there's tons of DLC in Magic, but a lot of it is purely cosmetic horse armor.
Yes.
That's exactly
literally, yeah.
It harkens back to that first DLC that Skyrim did where it was $30 for horse armor. So when I prospectively buy premium versions of cards, that's all I'm doing is I'm buying horse armor that hopefully they won't reprint again, so that it increases in value.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Sucks to say it, right?
Full fucking circle.
Feels good.
I don't know if we're ever getting sponsored by, Card Kingdom or people that sell Magic cards.
I just can't wait to be like, wow, that's some good horse armor. Where'd you get that?
Just next episode. Hey, shout out to Card Kingdom, TCG player. Make sure you're spending every last paycheck on cardboard. It is the best thing you could be doing. I'm doing it. Chris is doing it. Evan's doing it. You should be doing it.
But you're not even lying. We actually are still.
We still do it for as much as we're talking about. Nobody should be fucking doing it. I got cards in the mail today.
Card Kingdom, home of the world's best horse armor. All right. Moving on. We did the Aftermath thing right after Aftermath.
Right after.
I hope there are Aftermath cards in Aftermath.
Ooh.
That should be something.
Well, that actually be kind of
flavorful,
lit.
right? Yeah. Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle Earth.
Oh, hell yeah. We have
Yep.
most of an episode about it.
We know Chris is freaking hyped about it. And after that episode, man, I'm actually kind of fucking hyped about it. I want to play this battle box you're doing.
Yeah.
I want to draft this fucking thing.
After we recorded that episode, I went on Amazon and pre-ordered 2 more collector's packs.
Let's go.
Just felt good. Good in the moment.
You're in that Willy Wonka mode right now. You want that golden ticket.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because with the whole One Ring. Yeah.
But even then, I want the cool, for this battle box, I want it to be bling the fuck out.
Yeah,
Totally.
I love that. So is your goal just going to be 4 commander deck vibes for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just all the lands are going to be those Middle Earth foil lands.
Yep.
I love it.
So, and it's not going to be the commander precons. I'm going to build 4 different ones.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
Nice. This releases on June 23rd of 2023. This is straight to modern. That is confirmed. It is a set that is releasing straight to Modern.
And based on what we've seen so far, the power level seems pretty actually appropriate for that. It's not Modern Horizons 3, which a lot of people were speculating on Reddit. Like,
I think it's MH 2.5.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because like people on Reddit, a lot of them were speculating. Oh, are they going to complete the fetch cycle reprints? Are they going to do this?
Yeah.
No, and they, obviously Wizards was never going to do that, but they did. Because they're printing it into Modern and the big set, of course it's going to have a decent power level. They want people to play it. They want people to buy it. Like,
if they don't show up in decks, then nobody's going to go buy those packs to open those cards.
Yeah. Do you think there's shocks in this, or do you think they just go back to fetches?
There's no.
No, they've shown. I don't know, because they have already. We've seen previews of some of the dual lands that are in the thing, but I don't know if those are full cycles. Like, we haven't seen enough to determine that, or if there's other shocks.
You're talking like the Mount Doom cycle
kind of it.
Potential cycle.
Yeah.
Like the Mount Doom card.
I mean, but it could make sense to reprint shocks in here. Like, they gotta, if they're trying to avoid reprinting fetches, because of the shuffling aspect and how that interacts with gameplay, the next most optimized land you can have is a shock.
Right.
I mean,
they've shown the willingness to reprint those pretty frequently.
I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they'll bite the bullet on it. I would love it because I would buy a bunch of shocks, but I just don't think they're gonna do it. That being said, I do think the pain lands. I'm a huge fan of like pain lands with the upside. So like that seems to be, if they do in fact do this whole cycle with Mount Doom and then whatever the other few cards they had on there was. But I got no problem with that. If it enters untapped, I think it has a colorless option. Or no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
These are the ones that are just straight up. You have to take the damage.
Straight pain.
I don't necessarily mind that, especially in Modern. It's a super aggressive format, and you're paying your life on your lands regardless of what you do.
Right.
Sometimes having that upside on that last ability is just what changes the game. We said all the time with Celestial Colonnade and stuff like that. Any of those man lands have been really taking over.
Well, yeah, you look at even cards like Cave of the Frost Dragon and stuff like that.
That
you think
whole new
like
cycle.
you think like 5 mana is too high of a cost.
No, it comes up all the time.
Nope, in a stalled out game. You're going to be sitting
You're
there
both top deck
every
mode?
turn.
So if you think
waiting for it.
Yeah, if you think Mount Doom is like too far out at 7 mana, like,
Nah.
yeah, you'll get there.
It'll come up.
Yeah, it'll come up every once in a while. Notably, the products for this set.
Please, yes, because we're going to have to figure out every different pack variation for each one of these sets.
Yeah, there's draft set booster, and collector's boosters.
Of course.
Jumpstart as well.
Yep, commander decks and accompanying secret layers. So.
I will be buying those secret layers. Sight unseen.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I think this is one where I think you're right. I don't even need to see it, and I think I'm pulling the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to be a special experience insofar as, you can describe something in Magic as a special experience with this product deluge. But, like, it's an IP that I'm super hyped about. Other people are super hyped about. And then you have a full set being printed with, dedicated art. And, like, it can... it's going to have cards that are playable in other formats, as well as if you just want that, battle box experience, it's going to be good for that too. I think I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think my fear initially was that I didn't think they were going to be able to do it justice because they've been fumbling the bag so hard, like leading up to it, where I'm like, you guys aren't even building like a balanced experience for your players, and you're just going to take one of the biggest IPs in the world and try to like.
I mean, they showed with the Warhammer decks that they could do it.
Yeah, they did 100%. That's a big part of the way those performed. What changed my perspective on this. So
they're showing that they are clearly putting their efforts towards Universes Beyond, and maybe not on some other stuff that they should be.
Yeah, standard, modern, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting that this is being printed into Modern. I think as far as their marketing and their sales like strategy, this is the best way to do it because you're now hitting. We all saw how like Modern Horizons, like how high those sales were because it was just pure gas, right? First one, gas. Second one, gas. This one, which is essentially our Modern Horizons 3, it's just going to sell like fucking hotcakes. And now that they've decided to print the golden ticket, it just says, okay, so there is not going to be a single collector's booster that is not bought. Every single one will be bought.
Yeah.
Like they will be tucked away. You know, it's like I want that golden ticket to be in a box forever. Some perspective,
Yeah.
you know, like reseller. But I think if you were not to open all of your boxes, right? How much are as a single collector's booster box?
The regular bundles are 50. The collector's booster, I think, is 60. I mean, that was the initial like pre-order price.
Sure. So imagine buying it for 60
For single booster?
No, not for a single booster, for the bundles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you get what, 1 or 2 collector's boosters?
You get 8 packs
8 packs.
plus a collector's booster. I
Yeah.
think.
Oh.
eight set boosters, and
Yeah.
then yeah.
I see. So imagine spending the $60 on the collector's booster thing. This card is not found for 4 years. And then all of a sudden people are buying these at $600.
Yeah.
$700.
That's real.
Because the price of that one card, you know, not sight unseen or damaged, probably pristine condition, would be in the $500,000 range.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how safe it is to speculate on this because, like, with the Phyrexia complete bundles, people, you know, that was the first time Wizards tried to do an alternate product with the bundles.
Yeah.
And definitely people were hyped on it. And leading up to the release, there was a lot of hype on it. And now, you know, there's a couple oil slick mythics that are decent. The basics are decent. But
Price did kind of fall out on a lot of those.
yeah. You know, it was a new product that people were hyped on. And, you know, with Lord of the Rings, I think the big thing is, well, is someone going to open it? The One Ring, and then what happens then? Then if you speculated on it, I think the price isn't going to plummet, but it's not going to be, you know, that great investment that initially was.
Right. Yeah, that's a fair point. If someone pulls the ring, those perspective boxes, pew,
I mean, they're
go
not
down.
valueless as
Right.
long as the rest of the set's good.
Right,
you know?
right.
But
Yeah, it's just that, you know, the my imagination and my fantasy brain wants to say it's never found. Those boxes become crazy expensive because people are just trying to hunt that one fucking card.
No, it's just going to be I forget the Willy Wonka reference to the characters, but the rich girl, her daddy, it's just going to be that where he has a factory of minimum paid workers just cracking collector boosters until they find it.
Veruca
Yeah, it's going to be Veruca.
Salt. Next product, Commander Masters, coming out August 4th of 2023.
Heyo.
Announced in February. This has like pretty much just the same accompanying sets. We're getting decks. It's a draftable set. Again, draft format is a little bit different. You actually, you know, it's like what, 16 cards, and you pick 2 cards.
Oh, because you make it the commander decks. Yeah,
Yeah,
60 cards, but you pick 2.
Yes, you pick 2 cards
Yeah.
out of each pack, and we're getting some really spicy reprints here. I think everyone's very, very excited for a Jeweled Lotus reprint, and the not so excited for an Dragon reprint. It's just at this point feels printed into the dirt.
I mean, its price did go up again, like after that last one, but
it still baffles me.
It's still like, oh, okay. Like, fine.
Yeah.
Like, one is a Jeweled Lotus. The only other time we've got an alternative version in the best art by far. It's fucking incredible. And then you get like a dragon.
Yeah,
I mean, people love dragons. And
People love
It's a
dragons.
5-color commander.
That is true. That's true. But like, we haven't actually seen a ton of spoilers come out for this set. Just kind of what the box toppers are looking like. Do we get any other cards?
I mean, there were a few. I can't.
There's a few.
I mean,
But-
I feel like the commander sets the commander master sets sell themselves. They don't need.
Oh yeah.
You know, hype.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like when we start seeing the spoilers, I think we are going to see like a mother load of great. I'm hoping great reprints. Like
Yeah.
that's what this set should be for.
The whole bit is like, hey, here's some new art on some really expensive cards. That
Right.
You're already.
Yeah, and new arts is
Yeah.
gonna be great. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is not even modern legal. This is not modern legal.
No, not modern legal. This is where your perspective fierce guardianship and,
Exactly.
like your deflecting SWAT come back around.
I want to see this commander cycle
Deadly
reprints.
Relics. Yeah, like after you've just spent all of your hard-earned savings on the Lord of the Rings set trying to get the One Ring, Commander Masters comes out, and it's going to be begging you to spend a little bit more just to get those reprints. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
I think this is that moment.
Oh, I'm saving my money for this.
This is that moment where you get the Fierce Guardianship again. You get, and not only do you get it, you get a chance to get it in foil, and you chance.
Never in foil, yeah.
Yep, you get a chance to get it in a borderless foil.
You know
There's-
you know what's coming.
there's all these products, like all these cards that make waves in the game that we love, like in this format that we love, are going to be seeing a lot, like just new styles. It gives you that chance. Like we said, you get to basically just craft your own flavor in your decks just through the artwork itself. This is going to give you more options.
Yeah.
You're going to have to shell out for some of them.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be expensive as hell to open this up.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But you could maybe see like, maybe a new Force of Will. Like we're talking this kind of level of reprints with new arts and stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of man, if they put Force of Will in here again, that'd be wild. They just want everyone to have a copy of that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so expensive all the time. It's $85 minimum.
Yeah, and it's minimum. It's already raising like almost 100 just for like main non-foil.
Yeah, so we just got a Mana Vault reprint. We got Mana Crypt. Does Mana Crypt make it here?
Mana Crypt came out in Double Masters
2020.
The second one.
No.
The first one.
First one.
Yes, that's right, because Mana Vault came out second.
Yes.
So it's been a minute actually since we've had a good Mana Crypt reprint.
They're staples. Print them in hell. Do it.
Yeah.
I would love an extra one. I would love to be able to pick up one. That's how I got my last one. Was honestly just cracking packs. I had pulled one that was fantastic of Double Masters.
It's gotten to be into an unrealistic price range right now. It's $200. Do you want a Mana Crypt? It's going to cost you $200.
Yeah, and we've gotten to the point where Commander is the most prevalent format. Everybody wants to play it. Everybody wants the cards that go along with that. But in addition to that, more and more people are showing a curiosity in competitive Commander. We're seeing that more tournaments are popping up, more content creators are coming out with this kind of content, and there's tons of views to back them up.
Yeah, and two, if the difference between competitive and not competitive a lot of time is just fast mana. And if all that stuff is
reserve list,
Yeah.
mana base, fast mana.
Yep.
I think you get a Thassa's Oracle reprint here too.
That'd be great, man. Because where else does that come up, really?
Yeah, I think you get a couple combos like printed into the set that you could potentially build.
I love that. If they were smart about that.
Yeah, the thing is, like you said, more people are becoming curious about competitive Commander because eventually when we all play this game long enough, you do anything long enough, you start wondering how high the ceiling is.
Yeah.
And it is our just natural curiosity as human beings, and so you start looking at strategies and ways to make your deck stronger, and you look online and you see there's a plethora of resources. The CDH deck database is a great one if you don't have.
It's a great place to start.
Yes, there's a lot, and they have great explanations. Their primers are good, but this set I feel like is going to bolster the competitive Commander community and push people further in that direction. If you get together with your friends and you do this draft, you're now going to have access to cards that are more or less staples in competitive decks.
Yeah. I really, really hope they take this to heart as like a great opportunity to reprint a lot of cards that usually have a hard time getting reprinted because they can't fit in a lot of these formats, right? Like a lot of these Commander specific cards. So if they actually take that and use this as an opportunity to give us some meaningful reprints and drop the prices on it, then people will have that ability to access this. Because these cards have only been printed one time 3 years ago, Dockside before the last reprint here, it was like either you were there at the right time or you shelled the fuck out because you are a dedicated CDH player. But that doesn't really leave a gap for anybody who's curious to dip their toe in it to kind of get their cards on some gas or get their hands on some gas cards.
Yeah, and competitive Commander has had a bad reputation for a long time, so hopefully this just wipes that slate clean.
Yeah,
because people will now be playing with those cards.
Yeah, it feels super gatekeepy if they just. Oh, every card you needed came out 20 years ago, and they all cost $300 a piece.
Yeah, or at least they're over 40. Name a sane Magic player who's willing to just snap decision buy a $40 card because they need it for their deck. I'm tired of being that person.
We definitely used to be that people. I do not think we're those people.
I snap bought a Judge Foil land tax because I thought it was what I needed for a deck, and I didn't want to get the shitty non-foil land tax.
But now you have a sick Judge Foil land tax, bro.
I do. The next set coming out, we have Wilds of Eldraine.
Yes, dude.
Isn't there the Doctor Who before that?
It comes out after it.
Oh, okay. Never mind. A little preview.
Yeah, Eldraine is fall Q3.
Got it.
Commander decks for Doctor Who is Q4. along with Lost Caves of Ixalan.
Yeah, we actually don't have an exact release date for this. It is just Q3.
Q3.
There's still some speculation on like supply chain that they're concerned about. They just don't know when it's going to come out exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Magic, they'll be releasing a product every couple months reliably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Don't worry, you can spend your money.
You're not going to be waiting too long, regardless of what goes on.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Wilds of Eldraine, this is coming back. We have, I mean, Eldraine was just the original Eldraine was one of the most notably powerful sets in all of Magic's history.
Especially a standard legal set. Yeah.
Great standard environment.
Crazy. Crazy.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not. The Oko and
No, post Oko ban.
Oko ban.
Yeah.
I will say that like this is the time that really made me fall in love with Magic. I loved this set, and I was like still a pretty new player and maybe playing for like a few months, but I'd never really paid attention to like the actual cycle of new releases and stuff. It was just kind of whatever Evan had that I was familiar with at the time. So when new sets started coming out, this is the first one that really grabbed my attention and I really sunk my teeth into it, and it's been great. I'm glad it was this one because there's been so many cards that have just stuck with me throughout my Commander career or my whole Magic career. Like there are so many decks and supportive cards that came from this set that I just had no idea about first when I saw them.
Regardless of how much of a Nazi Seb McKinnon is,
Whoa.
That's a fair accusation.
No, it was just a hard transition.
I mean, yeah. Was not expecting it. Yeah.
The artwork he did for Eldraine was stunning.
Well, I was thinking about this because I knew we were having this conversation.
Playmat you have.
I was using my playmat with the Eldraine art, and I bought it because of that. Like I loved Eldraine, and it was some of the best Magic art, and it still is some of the best Magic art. It just happens to be made by a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're leaning into it.
Hey, I figured we're here. I would give him a little hand.
He already made his last card. It's called Farewell. Goodbye, Seb. So this is actually, it's funny because this set is our first breath of fresh air after this whole story arc of March of the Machine happens.
They're taking kind of like a 6-month break from like I guess narrative sets,
Yeah, because they built this whole thing up. This is sort of like that War of the Spark moment that they're having, and they're just this is that like we've all had our fucking butts clenched like going into this like March of the Machine, and now this is a time where we can all relax and just enjoy a set for its for its environment.
So is this the end of this story arc? Is going into March of the Machines, and then Aftermath is in fact the epilogue of it, and then we're donezo?
And
Yeah.
Dunzo.
Oh,
arc.
okay.
We're in like an in-between period where the
see.
next threat hasn't been established. That's going to be 3 or 4 year arc.
This is the the post Thanos Avengers
Yeah,
territory that Marvel is just drowning in right now.
Yeah, let's just hope that Wizards doesn't drown in it.
Yeah.
I was going to make the same reference.
yeah, Wizards of the Coast is definitely more nimble and can navigate this better than Marvel. I'm sure.
Hopefully Wizards doesn't find their Jonathan Majors.
Oh, so fucking topical.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, he has not been proven guilty yet. Let's give him a chance.
Yeah, sure. Not proven guilty, but doesn't seem good.
No, it does not
for
look
sure.
good for him.
Yeah. All right. I'm hyped about Wilds of Eldraine. I actually thought like the story wise, like there was still going to be some Phyrexian nonsense, but I guess I'm excited to see kind of how the whole thing wraps up and let Eldraine be Eldraine.
Yeah, I mean, Eldraine had a short story in the lore drop for March of the Machine, and it seemed like there is some tumult. Like a lot of things are going to be different when we return there.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you kind of get a little bit of perspective in that through March of the Machine, because we're seeing a pair of well-known Eldraine characters teaming up on a card, and it is Torbran and Rankle.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be a Rakdos legendary creature that teams up.
Yo.
So we know that they at least step foot into Eldraine. Eldraine is part of this like Realm Breaker storyline that they're doing right now, that they're telling the story about. So if you guys are reading the March of the Machine story right now, you will get a little bit of insight into what they're going for with Wilds of Eldraine. And we'll get more of that in Aftermath, I think.
For sure. Yeah.
But
That's tight.
Yeah. So there will be a little bit of like lean into it, like to like sort of like smooth everything out.
Yeah, help that transition a little bit to post mom.
We haven't seen the death of Oko on camera, so there's a good chance that Oko returns here in some form.
Can you just be like 2 mana and have 3 more activated abilities?
Yes.
He pongifies things.
Yeah.
He
I think it would just push him a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he would be playable.
Okay, so let's say for Fantasy Custom Magic, 2 mana Oko, green and a blue, plus 4, pongify something.
Plus 4. Plus 4.
Sorting loyalty 5.
Ward 7.
Ult is 19 though. You got to go
Okay.
neg 19 to ult him.
Takes 6 extra turns.
Or he's super sexy and he's neg 69 to fucking ult.
Next 6 because there's a 6-pack, bro.
Yeah, woo!
Ooh.
All right, Eldraine. It's honestly very exciting. I loved like the showcase
set.
stuff they did. If they return to that style of artwork again,
I hope so.
I'm all for it. I will buy a bunch, but they're doing a lot of unique artworks and a lot of unique showcase stuff for all of these sets coming out, and it's really exciting.
I will say, with all there's tons of product fatigue, and I hate that, but because of like all the alternative options. But I will say, with like the alt arts that they do for the sets, I think they've been fucking crushing it. Like the art design and art direction on them has been really, really cool, and I like that they're matching them. I like that with March of the Machine, since we're mashing up all these different planes now. Like you're gonna see like 8 different frame treatments in one set, which is gonna be absolutely ludicrous, but kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah, the Galta frame actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they all look crazy, and they're all different because they're like all matching their vibes. I love that. But I love that I love fall, right? And I love that they do these like fall sets. Like last time we had the double Innistrad following right into that double feature. And like I did it. And like I think we did multiple drafts and then the double feature draft. And it was sick as fuck. Evan and I both pulled Meat Hook Massacres.
At the same double feature.
Yeah, it was actually insane, bro. And I love that we are not only getting to go back to Eldraine, but we are doing it in the fall. So I get that eerie, spooky vibe. It's going to be so great.
Yeah, don't worry, listeners. We sold those fuckers as soon as we could.
Oh, yeah. I sold it way before it hit its peak value. Don't you worry.
All right. We got 2 more products to get through before we can walk away from here. We're getting towards the end of our rope. Doctor Who Commander decks. Fans of the show are going to get some pretty tasty cards here. There haven't been too many spoilers, but we do know we're getting a Fractured Identity card, which is going to be very, very flavorful. Ever played Fractured Identity?
Different type of dork. I don't know anything about Doctor Who. So
Same.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not really a Doctor Who dork either. I'm excited to see what they do because it's a lot of universe.
Okay,
time travel stuff. Let's see. They're doing a premium commander deck, so same as Warhammer 40K.
Okay.
And
Does it say search foil, or do we not know?
we don't know yet.
I hope it's something different.
they're not going to leave money on the table.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a product. It's a commander, exclusive product. It is the decks to celebrate Doctor Who's 60th anniversary. They will have these decks, the premium versions, and it looks like they're doing a Universes Beyond collector's boosters for this set.
Gross.
So there'll be accompanying secret layers as well.
I mean, if
Everything comes with 2 secret layers. Don't worry.
yeah, for sure. I mean, if
One to start it, one to finish it.
Yep, you get the showcase secret layer.
I don't know, man. If you love Doctor Who, same deal.
Yeah.
Build a battle box out of this.
We are
Sure to be
truly
satisfying.
Yeah, I think we are truly in an opt-in or opt-out Magic world. You cannot keep up with the barrage of products. So like, you love Doctor Who, get it. You don't even pay attention to it. Like Ritter's going all in on Lord of the Rings. I'll show up for Commander Masters and Eldraine. Evan's going to be here for Exhalin. I think it's just at the point where you really got to pick or choose, because unless you're a fucking millionaire.
Yeah. No way to keep up with all the products.
Yeah.
Nor should you. Like, it takes up a lot of space. Like, I organized my collection a couple weeks ago, and even just like not buying boxes and opening packs and that sort of stuff, and like limiting how much I do that. and just like occasionally just dropping a shoebox worth of commons
Right.
in
I
the
just
lobby
wanna
of my apartment building and like giving them away still just takes up too much physical volume in my world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like. I'm at the point where I'm like, I just want to throw these bulk in the garbage. And if you're listening to this and you leave a comment, I will send you 100 bulk cards
Yeah.
and a MoxStars sticker.
Ooh, a little twofer. A little
Yeah.
spice it up a little bit.
I am slightly haunted by the one time I left a shoebox for a bulk in the lobby of my apartment building, and there were like 20 Farseeks in there, which hadn't accumulated value yet at that point.
Yeah, Commander wasn't really a big thing yet.
This was back in like 2016.
Hold on to all the cards you will ever have. They will be worth something in the future. Be a hoarder.
All right, let's roll into the last product of 2023.
Yes.
This is the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And I know everyone wants to, you can criticize me for how I say it. Phonetically, if you look at it, it is Ixalan. Ixalan, it sounds like I'm drinking tea. I was like,
I don't know,
would you
man.
like some tea with your
The only
Ixalan?"
person I've ever heard criticized on how you pronounce this word is you.
No, it's all my YouTube. On my YouTube followers on Call Me Commander. Whenever I say Ixalan, they're like, it's actually Ixalan.
Oh, okay.
Buddy,
So this is where
place is made up. I think you can call it whatever you want.
It's Ixalan.
Okay.
No, it's Ixalan.
Sure. France.
Anyway, yeah, it is. This is a sort of conquistador like Aztec Mayan plane. So in the first Ixalan, we saw pirates, dinosaurs, vampires, conquistadors, and merfolk river druids.
That's right. Merfolk was part of that too.
Yeah, and they're now sort of the front runner for a lot of the artworks, like and
I mean, Wizards have shown that they're keeping their eye on Merfolk, and like they've been kind of gassing them up the last year. I'd say maybe this is that set where it really kind of like they step into the forefront as some, competitively supported options.
Have you heard of Mercurial Spelldancer?
It's actually a pretty sick card, dude.
most notably, this entire set will be happening underground. There won't be a single card that happens on the surface of the plane.
What's happening on the surface of the plane?
I mean,
don't know.
Phyrexia is there if you're reading the stories.
Yeah, it sounds like they're
I'm
going
gonna be honest, I'm not.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to unfuck
enough.
everything.
They have been pretty decent during the cycle.
I'll get to it. I'll definitely read them. I just haven't been
and
keeping up.
They're like short stories too. They're like definitely like 3 or 4 pages of actual book.
Yeah, I definitely feel very behind on lore at this point.
It's honestly not to get too far off, but the stories have been pretty good this cycle. They they did a decent job of not just like, being like, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened, but actually like expanding on moments and having weight to moments. There were some touching Tamio Nashi moments in one of the
Whoa,
stories.
my boy Nosh?
Yep.
Yes, there was some good stuff worth reading if you have some time to kill.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
I will definitely read it. I think as a whole, Wizards as a company is not doing my favorite stuff, but their whole directive, like writing, art side of things, I think they've been crushing.
Oh, we love this.
This last year has
We're
been
always talking about like we're shitting on Wizards, but by the way, the set design and the creative aspect of it, you're crushing that.
Like Capenna was such a vibe for me. I loved that. Like just everything's so tasteful. Like everything hits right.
Yeah, there's still plenty of things we love.
Yeah, for sure. That's where I'm finding joy.
I bet Q1 or Q2 2024 we see another return to Capenna set. Based on the stories that we've been seeing too. So
Yeah. This set, we're harkening back to vampires, dinosaurs, merfolk. Everything that was there is still going to be there. We can take what we know about the things that are happening in March of the Machine and sort of like speculate on that. We know we're probably not getting a Galta reprint or a Galta character card in this due to what happens in the story. And we did also see in the artwork of March of the Machine a Phyrexianized Itali. So we're probably not getting another Itali card.
Hyped for that.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm glad we're getting that sooner than having to wait for this for a follow-up Itali card.
Right. I definitely think they're throwing some love to dinos this year too, for sure. I think there's speculation of a possible reprint of Zakama in the Commander Masters because he's showing up on some of the artwork.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's like this like just outline of a dinosaur head 3 times in different colors. It looks hot.
Best dinosaur commander, bar none.
Yeah, I think he's definitely cooler than Galta. But I'm hyped to see this Phyrexian Itali. If I get some, dinosaur pay to life bullshit, I'll put some together.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and this set is just coming with like your standard. What you're seeing now for standard sets, it's just that again.
It's 40 different products, 2 secret layers, 4 commander decks.
Yeah,
Collector
Bunch of
boosters.
different products.
Yep.
Hey man,
Yep.
Make more, sell more.
Don't buy them.
I mean, don't buy them, but at the same time, I say it all the time. I love opening packs. It just feels good, and having different types of packs to open. As stupid as it is, it's just a little bit more dopamine.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you know.
I think as long as you're smart about it, there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Like, my fiance loves scratchers, and she doesn't go crazy, but she buys like the $1 scratchers maybe every couple of weeks, and we'll get 2 of them, and just like the satisfaction of scratching them, regardless of what you get. So like, if you go with that mindset of pack opening, and you just happen to pull some sick cards every now and then, that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I really am. This is probably my most excited. I'm looking forward to this the most.
Yeah.
It's one of the sets I really fell in love with. Really, sort of like anchored my deep love for Magic.
You're a dino boy.
into Ixalan. So
Yeah. It's great that each of us has a set coming out this year that we're super fucking hyped on.
Oh, that is actually very, very true.
Because we started out this year like Dominaria Remastered, nothing to be excited about besides some new art. I don't
Very
think
accurate.
any of us were into Brothers War or Phyrexia All Be One that much in terms of like, just being hyped for it.
Yeah.
Brothers War's draft environment was lit as fuck.
It was.
Yeah, but all we won, I cannot say the same.
Yeah.
No. That was awful.
Yeah, but I've got Lord of the Rings. Jordan has Eldraine. You've got Ixalan.
We all got Commander Masters, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we all got Commander Masters. None of us have Doctor Who. Like,
completely out on that.
So-
But for those of you that love it, get on it.
yeah. So,
On that
man,
note,
this company we shit on constantly still just feeding us.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes. And we don't plan to stop with the content or shitting on them in the future. We just hope that they see the good in our conversation and choose to sponsor us at some point.
Yeah, anyways,
Hey, you tell us what you want
no
to
bad
hear.
feelings,
We'll say
Wizards of the Coast, you all hit us up.
on that note, guys, we have enjoyed your company. We are going to go turn some cardboard sideways.
It's Magic Night, baby.
Deuces.
Goodbye.
Bye.